Hello everybody, Caveman TCG, bringing you a Dark Magician deck profile. Now, Dark Magician is an iconic card. Everybody in Yu-Gi-Oh knows who Dark Magician is, or another legacy card like Blue Eyes, Dark Magician Girl. When you think of Yu-Gi-Oh, you think of Dark Magician, and when I started playing, Dark Magician starter deck was not the best deck, especially compared to now. But it was something. It's what brought the fans in. It's what made the fans stay, at least in my point of view. But Dark Magician had a lot of support already when I got back into the game, especially with Duelist, Legendary Duelist Pack 4, or I think it was 7. Yeah, I think it was 7. That well, correct me if I'm wrong, but with a Magician's Souls, Soul Servant. I even play like Magical Combination. It's got its key support in that pack, and some more support too that came out in Battle Chaos, and some more promos that came out in Tins. But Dark Magician is a very good viable deck now, especially with Red Eyes, Dark Dragoon. But yeah, enough of me rambling, and let's get straight to the deck profile. All right. Now I play 3 Dark Magicians. Why not? This is a Dark Magician deck, and I want to see him. I want to have one copy in my deck, one copy on the field, and one copy in the graveyard, so a lot of my plays can go off. You can run 2, but a lot of the plays won't go off on 2. Or if one of your copies is banished, a lot of your plays kind of fall off, and you're now a lot of your combos or a lot of your plays are no longer there. But yeah, I played 3 of them. Great card, I love them. The next card I play is Dark Magician Girl. Dark Magician Girl is another iconic card. But in this deck, I was playing 3. Bad idea, because unlike Dark Magician, this card's kind of harder to get out. And if it's in your hand, or it's not the best in your hand, you want them in the deck or the graveyard, or field and graveyard. So when you play 2, this card can be easily dumped into the graveyard with Magician Souls. But we play for the name. We play more copies just so we can draw more off of Soul Servant. But yeah, I play 2. Next, I play 3 Magician's Rod. Magician's Rod's your main spell and trap searcher for the archetype. So if one of those cards lists Dark Magician, and be careful, it's going to say Dark Magician monsters like Ayatamice, because Ayatamice cannot be searched with this card because it has to specifically say Dark Magician and not Dark Magician monsters. But yeah, this card's your main spell and trap support searcher. Also has another effect which you will not use so much. If you use a spell on your opponent's turn, you contribute 1 spellcaster and bring him back to your hand. But good card, your main searcher basically. Now I play 3 Apprentice Illusion Magician. This is a Turbo Dragoon deck. We want to get enough monsters on the field quick enough to bring out Verte Anaconda and bring out Dragoon or any other fusions. So we kind of want our special summons here, and I want to see this card as much as possible. I know nowadays they play 2 or 1. I'm new to the game, so I don't see why. But I want to see this card so I can summon them out, and hopefully I have another summon out, so I can start on a combo to bring out Red Eye Dark Dragoon, which is the boss monster of this deck. But she has an effect where you can summon her from your hand by pitching or discarding 1 card from your hand. And when she is summoned, you can search Dark Magician from your deck to your hand. And she also has another effect where I think if you're Dark Magician spellcaster, monsters battle, and if she's in your hand or in the field, you can send her to the graveyard or tribute her. Or you can send it from your hand or on the field to the graveyard, and that dark spellcaster type will gain 2,000 attack. That effect rarely comes up. You'll just most likely just want to summon her to the field, get the Dark Magician to your hand, and link off. So yeah, I want to see her as much as possible. So I played three. No, I played three of the new card that came out in Battle Chaos, Illusion of Chaos. This card is, now it's what you basically can do to search Magician Souls, and kind of want to see Magician Souls because Magician Souls is another special summoning target. But yeah, this card helps you search your Dark Magician themed cards. I believe it's monster. One Dark Magician or one non-ritual monster that mentions Dark Magician. So any card that mentions Dark Magician is a monster. But like I said, most likely you're gonna be searching out souls. And you reveal the card in your hand. You search, but you have to put one card in your hand, top of the deck, so you can put him back on top of your deck. When you search souls, use souls, then you can pitch him down from your deck. So basically, he's not on top of your deck, or you can keep him there just to continue to search out next turn. But no, this souls and Illusion of Chaos are using other decks also, just basically pitch out our souls for an extra special summon and use them as link off. And since Illusion of Chaos can be pitched from the deck from just souls, you have no more bricks. But one of your best searchers in the deck besides Magician's Rod, I played three. It also has another effect too, where if you do happen to ritual summon this monster, and if he let's see, when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can return it to your hand. It is a quick effect, and you can negate it. But if you do, you're supposed to summon one Dark Magician from your graveyard. Okay, yeah, you supposed to summon Dark Magician first. If you do, then you can negate the card. So I played three of. And I want to mention that this deck is also not a budget deck. It's high in cost, and with the I think Legendary Duelist Season 4, we'll get a lot of reprints of a lot of these expensive cards, like Magician Souls. Magician Souls is a great card. It's one of the best cards in this archetype, where you can pitch a Dark Magician or a level 6 or higher spellcaster, basically, from your deck to the graveyard, and special or not really. You can special summon the Dark Magician, or special summon it itself. Yeah, one Dark Magician or one Dark Magician Girl from your graveyard. So a lot of times I'll bring this card to the field, and especially if I have dead spells or dead trap cards in my hand, I would pitch those dead spells or trap cards, or the trap cards or spell cards that do have graveyard utilization, just to draw the two cards. So you can do one, you can do both of them, but it's a great way to draw cards. And usually with Magician Souls, or your normal summon like Rod, or what's that one's name? Apprentice Illusion, or Apprentice, yeah, Apprentice Illusion Magician. You can go to your Verte Arcana and bring out your Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Now I know a lot of decks have been playing this, but we played the Divine Herald, and this one you basically was drop out the Herald of Light Arc from your extra deck to search your ritual monsters, so you can get to Illusion of Chaos faster. And it's also I believe a one card Verte. So basically with this card you would send Arc Light from your extra deck, search out the Illusion of Chaos, search out with Illusion of Chaos the Magician Souls, and summon your Magician Souls, and you'll have two monsters there to use for your Verte Anaconda. And I think the second effect we don't really use. Well, I don't use it, but I use it for the Turbo Dragoon. Play the one Red Eyes. The Red Eyes is necessary for to get the 2 pops from Red Eyes Dark Dragoon instead of the 1. I play both Palladium Oracle Mahad and Palladium Oracle Mana. Now this is just me being greedy. So with the souls, with Servant Soul, I can draw the maximum amount of cards I can draw. Their effects do come up, but not a lot. When you draw Palladium Mahad, you can just special summon him to the field, and his attack is doubled when he attacks a dark monster. And when he is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon 1 Dark Magician from your hand, deck, or graveyard. And Oracle is, I believe, when one of your spellcasters is targeted, level 7 or higher. Let's see. Yeah, when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets 1 spellcaster monster you control, with cards in your hand or graveyard, quick effect, summon this card to your field. And when she's on the field, you'll have a one cost protection by card effects. Then if this card is destroyed by battle, you can basically get Dark Magician from your hand, deck, or graveyard. But mostly I use them to get the maximum draws out of Soul Servant. Now for this is also somewhat competitive, but I try to build decks for myself so I can have fun and play them the best way I can play them. But I do play the Magic Rebo, and it's a great. I don't want to say it's a great card. It just looks amazing, and you can easily cut this card. You don't have to play it at all, and play another card, maybe a hand trap or infinite permanence or anything that useful in this deck. Maybe a Heartbeast for the Storm or Duster. But this card, when you do take damage, you can discard this card from your hand, special summon a Dark Magician or Dark Magician Grell. And a lot of cards that are in this deck kind of use that, where if you have Magical Circle on the field, and that pitch will basically summon the Magical Circle, and you can basically start banishing cards on their field. Or you have to summon 1 card, a Dark Magician, Dark Magician Grell, then get the other one on the field, because there's a lot of ways to get both of them on the field. Another effect where if a spellcaster monster is destroyed by battle or opponent's card effect while this card's in your graveyard, you can take them back to your hand. I play the 1 Timaeus the United Dragon. I'm kind of iffy about taking this card out and just putting back the Eye of Timaeus, because I feel that maybe the Eye of Timaeus is better. But then again, it's my point of view or my opinion of it. But yeah, you could send 1 spellcaster monster or 1 spell trap that mentions Dark Magician from your hand or on the field to the graveyard, and special summon the United Dragon from your hand. During your main phase, you can fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material, including the spellcaster monster. So I feel like special summon is nice, and if you want to get to nobody can get to your Verte, but just for a fusion effect, I think Eye of Timaeus is probably better. But then again, Eye of Timaeus is not searchable. This card does mention Dark Magician, so it can be searchable with Illusion of Chaos. I play the 1 Magician of Chaos. He's also you can summon him with a Chaos form or the quick play fusion ritual card, but he's a 1-of. He can also when a spell card is activated or spell a trap, you can destroy 1 card in the field. And when he's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can actually special summon 1 of your chaos monsters, chaos ritual monsters from your hand. So you can actually summon Illusion of Chaos this way and gain Illusion of Chaos second effect, which is negation, and summon a Dark Magician while putting it back into your hand. But it comes up. I also search this with a couple cards in the extra deck too, so it comes up more than you think. And we play the one Survivors, the Ancient Ascended. I've been watching a lot of YouTube and other content creators, and they're using this card a lot. And I know this card can protect your cards from the next target. Yeah, when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a monster, you can discard this card, negate the activation. So it's a nice, good protection. It's searchable with cards in the extra deck, and it comes up to the extra card protection that this deck doesn't really need, but it's nice to have. And after that, we play this end of the monsters. Now we get to the meat of the deck, which is the spell cards. Really, Dark Magical Circle. This is one of the main cards I search for with Rod, and I think it's the main control of this deck, where every turn you can really just banish one card from their field. As an effect, when it's first activated, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck and reveal whether if those 3 cards are a Dark Magician or a spell or trap card that lists Dark Magician. It can't be a monster that lists Dark Magician. It has to rather be a spell or trap or a Dark Magician itself. You reveal it to your opponent, you put in your hand, and then you can put in any order those 2 cards on top of your deck. And like I said, there's and every turn that you would summon a Dark Magician, normal or special summon, you can just target one card in the field and banish it. Great card. I think it's like one of the most important cards of this deck, especially if you're in the control. And another card that right now is high in price and hopefully gets a reprint is Soul Servant. It's another card that, if you have Magical Circle in your hand and you're playing Magician's Rod, you want to search this card instead, because this card is your draw card. This card is going to basically, when you do activate, you can place a card in your deck that's Dark Magician, or your graveyard too, that's Dark Magician or list Dark Magician or Dark Magician Grell in this text, and you can put that on top of your deck. And the second effect, where if it's in your graveyard, you can banish it, and depending on how many different names from Dark Magician Grell, or either a Palladium card. So the max you can do is draw 4, and a lot of times where I like to use Mission Soul is to actually dump this card from my hand, so I can draw an extra card because of the dump, and draw cards from Soul Servant itself. I play 3 Secrets of Dark Magic. This card can come down the more I play it, because sometimes it just breaks the hand too much. Maybe 2, maybe even 1. I think 2 at most. The third one's just, there's no use of it. But sometimes I want to see it the most, or I want to see it more. That's why the 3 is there. But I'm thinking about putting it down 2. This is basically your fusion card or ritual card. So you can bring out a lot of the rituals that list Dark Magician with this card, or fusion monster, as long as it has a Dark Magician or Dark Magician Grell in there. Now it's searchable with Rod, so that's another reason why you can probably bring it down to 2. I played Magical Salvation at 2. You can't argue this one can be played at 1 also, especially to clear up more space, or to add other cards like Skill Drain in there to, since you're playing a normal deck and most of your monsters are kind of high beast sticks, you can just put them out and just attack over your opponent's cards. But Mission Salvation, when you activate this card, you can set 1 Eternal Souls directly from your deck, so they can't really ash it because you're not adding it to your hand. It's going straight to the field. And it has another effect where if you normal summon or special summon Dark Magician or Dark Magician Grell, you can special summon its counterpart from your graveyard to the field. So a lot of cards that it combos with, where if you bring out Dark Magician, you have the Grell in your graveyard, they're both coming out. And a lot of cards you want to see both of them in the field to fuse them off or use other card effects. Play the 1 of. Magic Eyes Fusion. Once you do use your Red Eyes Fusion or your Verte Anaconda to drop down Red Eyes Fusion, then you basically have another Red Eyes Dragoon in your graveyard. So you can put out 2 Red Eyes Dark Dragoon with this card, or any other of the fusion. So as long as you fusion summon one spellcaster monster, you just banish the fusion materials on your field or in the graveyard. This card next is just for my style of play. You can totally cut it. It's not needed, or it's just the way I like to play, which is the bond between teacher and student. Now, you do not want to have any of those cards in your hand, whether it's Burning Attack, Dark Burning Magic, or Dark Magic Twin Burst. You don't want to have them in your hand, especially if you're playing 1-up, because then this card becomes dead. But with Illusion of Chaos, if you do have both of these cards in your hand, you can stack the other card on top of the deck, then use the bond between teacher and student. But basically, if you control Dark Magician, you special summon 1 Dark Magician Girl from your hand or deck or the graveyard, and you can set one of those Burning Attack cards from your deck to the field. I played the one card that I was talking about, Dark Burning Magic. If you control those whose original names are Dark Magician or Dark Magician Grail, you get to destroy all cards on your opponent's field. So like I said, you do not want to see this card in your hand at all. You want to basically set it from your deck. And if you do have in your hand, try to use Illusion Chaos to place it back on top of your deck. Then use your bond between teacher and student to set it to your field. I played the 1 Red Eyes Fusion. If you want to see this card more, play more. I seen decks play 2, I seen decks play 3, and why not? Because this is like one of the strongest cards in the game right now with Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. So the more you see this card, probably the better. Playing 1, I'm thinking about playing 2. Take out one of the Ritual Fusion cards to put another one of this. But it's Red Eyes Fusion. If you're using Fusion summon from your deck, pitch Red Eyes, pitch Dark Magician, and have a full effect Red Eyes Dark Dragoon monster where you can pop 2 monsters and an negate. You know, if you do use Red Eyes Fusion, you cannot summon at all that turn. You can't summon previous before you use the card or after. If you summon first, you can no longer use the card. It has to be your only summon. But you can bypass that restriction with Verte Anaconda. I played the 1 Preparation of Rites. If you want to see Illusion of Chaos more, you can play more of them. But I know there's plenty of ways to get Illusion of Chaos to your hand. So I think the 1's good enough, because you don't want to have so much of this in your deck and have multiple copies in your hand. But if you do have multiple copies in your hand, that's where Magician Souls comes out, where you can pitch it and draw another card. But I played 1 for now. I played 2 Eternal Souls. I used to play 3, but with Magical Salvation, the field spell, you don't really have to play 3. Some may argue you don't have to play 2. You can play 1 of it. But I like to play the 2 of them just in case 1 is destroyed or banished, and I had the backup. But basically, this card, every turn, you can summon 1 Dark Magician monster from your hand or graveyard. And if you have Dark Magical Circle on the field, you can just banish a card from their field every turn. And that kind of gets out of hand and gets nasty, where you can interrupt. You can interrupt their plays, their combos. If they need the monster on the field to go into a Link summon or XYZ summon, you can basically say, nope, take this card out, banish that card, banish that card. You need this card in your graveyard. Oh well, that card's banished, not going to the graveyard. But be careful. If Eternal Souls is removed from the field, not to the graveyard, but it has to move the field at all, back to your hand, banished, or to the graveyard, it destroys all your cards on your field. Another effect of it is that your Dark Magicians are unaffected by effects, I believe. Yeah, every Dark Magician in your monster zone is unaffected by your opponent's card effects. So you, uh, Regeki, Dark Hole, anything that can destroy them, remove them from the field, they're unaffected by it. As another effect too, if you have it, you can add Dark Magic Attack or Thousand Knives from your deck to your hand, but that rarely comes up at all. I don't think it comes up at all. But it's a great card though. I use the one Magician's Combination. This is why I was saying that I want to see one Dark Magician in my graveyard or my field, because if I have Dark Magician on my field and a Dark Magician Grill in my graveyard, this card basically makes you switch them out. And if opponent activates a card or effect where you have one of them in the field, you contribute one of them, bring the other one out, and negate that that card effect. And when this card is destroyed, when this card's face up destroyed, you can destroy one card in the field. Yeah. So like I said, I want to see one Dark Magician Girl on my field, one Dark Magician Girl on my graveyard. Same thing for the Dark Magician, because there's another negate you can have in the field, another interruption. So with these cards, you can stop your opponent. And play the one Destined Rivals, another card that you can be taking out. It's not really necessary, but I do love to have Dark Magician on the field and basically negate all their monsters' effects. Basically, your Dark Rule no more, but a trap card version, and you can still do damage. And I played the last of traps, Magician's Navigation. If you have a Dark Magician card in your hand, you can summon the Dark Magician from your hand, and one level 6 spellcaster, level 7 or lower Dark Spellcaster from your deck to the field. And if you control Dark Magician while this card's in your graveyard, not the turn it was sent, but the next turn, if you happen to control Dark Magician and they activate a spell or trap card, you can choose to negate it, basically, or target one face-up spell and trap, which usually be the card you're activating. But a lot of times too, I will dump this card with souls. So I basically, I won't use it as a first effect, but I'll dump this card with souls because I'm more interested in the second effect to negate the spells and traps. Now to the extra deck. I play two of the big boy, the best boy, the card that I hope don't never gets hit on the ban list now because it's amazing. Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. It's basically the combination of Joey's and Yugi's boss monsters. When you think of Legacy, you think of nostalgic. This is probably as best as it gets. The only thing that can come close to this is that there's a fusion between Dark Magician and Blue Eyes, but who knows if that's ever gonna come out. Well, your Red Eyes Dark Dragoon is a fusion between Dark Magician and Red Eyes, or you can use one Dragon Effect monster. He can't be destroyed by card effects. He can't be targeted by either player. The only way your opponent can really get over him is by attacking over him, which is kind of hard because he does gain 1,000 attack for every time he negates a card. And he, 3,000 attack or 4,000 attack. And another way you can get over him is by basically kaijuing him or trying to bait out his negate and use a card that doesn't target and sends to the graveyard to destroy. But yeah, this card's amazing, and it doesn't have no clause on it where you can't special summon it back to the field. So if you have a way to Monster Reborn while he's in your graveyard, you can. This is a great card right now. It's kind of pricey. Good thing that it's getting a reprint in 2022 Megatons, because it's like what, $130. Next, I play two Dark Magicians. A lot of times where I use them just to have the body on the field. He does have effect where a magic or trap card is activated, or the effect, you can basically draw a card. So it's also a card draw. And when he's destroyed by card effect or battle, or yeah, just destroyed, you supposed to summon both Dark Magician and Dark Magician Grill from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Another costly card that hopefully gets reprint in Season 4 Legacy Duelist pack. I played 2 Birdie Anaconda because why not 2? You want to send your your Red Eyes Fusion card to the graveyard to special summon Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, and if that gets stopped and they destroy your first one, and you do happen to summon 2 more cards to the field, go into it again, and then I'll drop down Magicalized Fusion and bring out Red Eyes Dark Dragoon again. So having 2 in it it's really good. This card, I believe this card doesn't have long. I think it will get banned in the next list. Because with Brand New Fusion coming out, it's just gonna be overpowered, and it's already overpowered right now, just kind of killing the future fusion card support, I believe. But until it happens, we play 2. Until it happens at all, we play any number we can. I play 1 Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. There's another card you can't go to, especially with the Timaeus card. And his name becomes Dark Magician when he's on the field and the graveyard. So Eternal Souls can summon him back from the graveyard. And when he's on the field, your opponent cannot, they cannot target spells and trap cards you control, and they also cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So it's good. 3,000 attack, basically blue eye stats. They'll help protect your cards from being destroyed. Play 1 of the new guys, Mission of Chaos. When he is summoned, you can basically target 1 light or 1 dark monster from your graveyard, special summon it, which I believe is most of your fusions. So if you did summon Dragoon, you can summon Dragoon back. If you did summon Dark Magicians, you can summon that back. And it has a second effect where you contribute 1 light and 1 dark monster, and you banish all monsters your opponent controls. And if this fusion card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target 1 spell in your graveyard and add it to your hand, which could be anything from combination, basically any spell. If it doesn't have to mention Dark Magician Grill, so Magicalized Fusion, any card that you see fit that's a spell or trap, really. I love this card. It's good. It's a good one to come out in Battle Chaos. The deck didn't need it, but I'll take it. I play the 1 Black Blood Soldier Chaos, because it is a Yugi card, and just because it's a Yugi card, it's throw them in. But this is a strong monster too. You need 3 monsters with different names, and if you do happen to use a monster that's level 7 or higher, this card cannot be targeted with card effects, and also cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. And so when this card destroys a monster, you can choose one of the 3 effects it has. Whether, I think it's the next turn though. No, it's one of the effects next turn. So the first effect, this card can gain 1,000 attack. Second effect is that this card make a second attack during the next battle phase, or you can just banish 1 card in the field. So, great card. Play the 1 Slain Queen of Master Magicians. When this card is summoned, you can get the spell counters on her based on how many number of spells on your field or graveyard. And then you use a quick effect and you remove 3 of the spell counters, and you put summon 1 spellcaster monster from your hand or your graveyard. So again, any of your fusion monsters that were in the graveyard, you can bring them back. So it's a great card to have. I know she's expensive too. Hopefully she gets reprint pretty soon. And one of the big monsters, also Quintel Magician. This card cannot be kaiju'd over, but you do need 5 different names. And Oh, not for that one, but you do need 5 spellcasters, and if you happen to use 5 spellcasters with different names, you can basically destroy all your opponent's cards. Like I said, this card cannot be tributed, so it cannot be kaiju, nor can it be used for a fusion material, so they can't use super poly to get away to get out of it. And also it cannot be destroyed by card effects. So it's a boss monster, right? And it's kind of hard to beat over too with a 4500 attack. Usually you want to get to that with Magical Ice Fusion if you haven't used for the other ones. And I use both of these just use them because they're part of the XYZs with Dark Magician. You can take them out. I rarely go into them at all, and they're just for show or placement for other cards that I'm trying to put into this deck. I rarely go into them. And I play the one other Instinct Intest because it's a fairy monster, and Herald Arclight, not Herald Arclight, what's that one called? The other Herald monster. What's to me now? Okay, yeah, the Viner of the Viner of the Herald can basically pitch this card from your deck. Say if you already have Illusion of Chaos, and you don't want to pitch Herald the Arclight from your extra deck to the graveyard, you can pitch this one instead, and then use Ultra Instinct Intest effect that was in the graveyard to destroy one card in their field. Yeah, this card, it never gets summoned, but I think it never gets summoned in any deck, really. And the one Herald of Arclight. This is the card that you want to pitch with the Viner of the Herald. And when he's sent to the graveyard, you get to search a ritual monster or card. So, 10 times out of 10, you're going to get Illusion of Chaos. So, this is basically why we don't run a lot of preparation of rites, because of the Divine Herald. This card, the Divine Herald is like I said, it's Instant Dragoon, and it's the last card we play. Thanks you for watching. This has been Caveman TCG, and if you guys got any tips out there or anything I should use instead, please feel free to let me know in the comments. Thank you guys.